I literally just flew in yesterday. I've slept and I woke up to a text message that Fantasy Springs is in soft opening. I'm out of breath because I'm speed walking. Because we got to get over there. There's no standby pass, no priority pass. Apparently the land is just open. I assume it'll be until they reach capacity, which I don't know when that'll be. I tried to get an Uber just to save 15-20 minutes. None are in the area. So now it's speed walk to monorail, get the monorail, and then hope we can get in to Fantasy Springs. And by the way, did I mention I had to walk once I get in the park? The furthest distance ever between a park entrance and a section of the park in the history of Disney theme parks. And I'm already out of breath from 5 minutes of speed walking. You know, I did a half marathon, so we'll see what happens. I don't even know if you can hear me with the wind, but this is how this vlog is going. There's the castle coming up on the horizon, but not where we're going today. That is where we're going today. So apparently they're not running standby pass today. The land is just open. They're saying Peter Pan and Frozen are either not working or at capacity. We don't know yet till we get back there, I guess. They could just decide the queue is full at any point. It is a soft opening, so anything goes. Tinkerbell and Tangled, though, for Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, we're showing 5-minute waits. But the question is, will access to the land still be open by the time I get back there? Because we're talking a good 15 to 20 minute speed walk even. If you've never been to this park, I cannot explain to you how big it is, nor the elevation changes. There is no Disney park in the world that goes up and down hills like DisneySea does. It is, it's a workout for sure. Here I'm squeaking across the Mediterranean Harbor with my big new sneakers. A good day for new shoes, I will tell you. I apologize, this is shaky. I don't even have time to bust out the stabilizer. We got to get these rides shot and filmed and start mobile ordering food back there. All sorts of fun stuff to do to take you along on a first day of work in a new land. I'll tell you, I've been 16 years of doing this. I've never had to cover 4 attractions at one time. So this is pretty record-setting for a number of reasons. All right, I am out of breath, I am sweaty, but we're back here and it looks like we can get in. I also placed a mobile order. Mobile order was on, so I got a dinner at Arendelle Royal Banquet Hall. Ordered way too much food, but here we go. We are in. This is exciting. So exciting. Okay, so they have a little store and a food kiosk out here in the entry area. We're waving. Springs Treasures. Wow. Of course, it's the gloomiest day imaginable. There's the entrance with Rapunzel and Pascal. I think we're gonna go this way with Anna and Elsa. Olaf's here somewhere. I'm not stopping though. Peter. Alright, let's go. Galaxy's Edge vibe. This tunnel. I think Neverland will be the first thing on our left, yeah. Oh, look at this. It's what a stupid thing to look at first, but cute little themes. vending machine with the water running to it. Very cute. Oh, this reminds me of Pandora a bit. There's some weird plant life up there and the waterfall running to the river. Now let's see what we can do. I don't know. Peter Pan, they said, wasn't operating. It might just be Rapunzel and Tinkerbell. Yeah, I think they're not even open. I don't think they even hit capacity. They just never opened. All right, not yet. Oh, wow. Just like reminds you a lot of Paris. Adventureland in Paris has Skull Rock with the pirate ship. No one's talked about the background music. It's very cute. Oh my god. Fantastic. Crocodile Dock, yeah. There's a pirate ship. I tried not to get people's picture. There's Skull Rock. And just like Paris, you can go in both of them. Again, an homage to Disneyland, pre-80s Fantasyland. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, and you see Rapunzel's tower kind of in the background of the pirate ship. Alright, I've had a little bit of time to calm down and figure some things out. So standby pass is happening, but you do not need standby pass to enter the land. The land is open access. When the land opens to the public, you will need standby pass or priority access to a ride to enter, or you need to be a guest of the Fantasy Springs Hotel. So that's what's happening. I did manage to get a standby pass for Frozen for much later. In an hour, I can book another one if something is still available. Peter Pan did just finally open, so maybe I'll be able to pull that off. We'll see in an hour. But in the meantime, I'd love to take you for a little walk around Fantasy Springs. This is coming in from the Fantasy Springs Hotel, directly above us. This is so far, I've done a full walk of the land just to see, get a lay of the land, if you will, the port. We're at DisneySea. And here is the magical spring from which all flows here in Fantasy Springs. But this is my favorite part of the land. It is this amalgamation of classic Disney fantasy stories. And so far, my early thoughts are Pandora, the world of Avatar, meets Fantasyland. And a lot of it actually feels very reminiscent of Disneyland Paris. I don't know if it's just because of Skull Rock and the pirate ship, but it feels very much in that vein for some reason. Maybe it's the architectural style. The attention to detail is insane though, right? So we have the brooms with Mickey, but also if you look down in here, it's going to be that like vortex of water that happens in The Sorcerer's Apprentice when Mickey's really gotten in over his head and the water all swirls. There's a lot of that kind of detail from these stories and all this rock work. A lot of things you may not notice the first. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Freaking out. Maleficent. Oh, and it's got like a mist for the fire. Wow, and the three fairies. are mixed in here. I see two of them. Where's the third one? Maybe on the other side. Oh no, they're there. So there they are. There's the three. It's hard to look into a camera and look away and catch everything, which is why I usually don't film my first look at stuff, but trying something new for these vlogs. This is very pretty. Aurora and Philip dancing in the rockwork. I think we're going to see Cinderella down charge. Almost squashed her child. Oh, I think I see. Yeah, that some Japanese guys freak out like I did about the dragon. Or Jacques and Gus and Susie and Perla. Well, one of the girls, Susie or Perla. Oh, and there are the steps where she lost the shoe. And there it is. The glass slipper. That's what I love about these. The first look you just see, oh, it's one of my favorite characters etched out of rock. And then the second look is where you look for sort of the details. There's forest creatures here. There's definitely a face in this waterfall, but I couldn't see who it was. Let's see who this is. Oh, is it the magic mirror? Yup. Wow. So the magic mirror is the circular waterfall. And we have the birds. No actual Snow White though. Maybe she's around the corner. That's cool. The mist was too heavy. It was hard to tell who that was. But I love this area. It's very clear that the land was mapped out mostly from coming in from the hotel. That's like the true main entrance. Not that I don't like the tunnels. Like the tunnels are great, but this feels, I don't know. I mean, it feels like a park entrance, honestly, but it's also sets the proper mood, I think, for the land or the port. Keep correcting myself. This is, but again, like Pandora meets Fantasyland is what I'm getting, especially with all the floral. Alice and the Caterpillar, and you see they put blue flowers on Alice for the dress. So they didn't put the hookah in his hand, but he's smoking nonetheless. I guess they weren't allowed to. They're like, well, he can smoke, but you can't put the device in his hand. But then you'll see the rocks are shaped like mushrooms. And we'll turn around so you can see my favorite one. This is my favorite one because the first time I looked, I'm like, I didn't even see Alice. I was turned this way, and I was like, kind of looks like Alice. Maybe it's Be Our Guest with it, because I only saw like what I thought was Miss Potts up there, and then I kept looking. I was like, no, it's definitely Alice. There's a teacup, and I was like, but who's the character? There's no character here. And then I saw this sticking out of the water and was like, oh boy, it's the Cheshire Cat, and he's half invisible, right? The thought that went into these is phenomenal. The detail you expect from Disney. I love them. I haven't even been on a ride yet. I just love this area more than anything. I will tell you though, I walked through Arendelle, and to see the castle in full is pretty special. But I say what we should do now is we should go in the only store in the land is actually in the hotel, so it's up here. Nothing is available yet, but the store is stocked. So this is going to be one of those truly Japanese experiences we're about to have, and I'll show you why. I did walk in here before, and I will tell you what I saw, because you won't believe it. So this is a fully stocked new store. All the new product is here. We can go look at it if we'd like. And not just in a display case, like we can go look at it on a shelf. But there's something to note about the shelf. I'm going to try to get us to one of these little signs. It's only in Japanese, but I will translate it for you. What this sign essentially says is, you cannot purchase any of this merchandise because it is not available yet. So it's stocked on the shelf. You can look at it, you can't touch it, and you can't buy it. Which the cultural difference with America is astonishing, because in America people would be picking this stuff up. Here, of course, that is frowned upon, so everyone's just looking at it on the shelf. Now, occasionally you'll see a guest pick it up, which she just did, and the cast member is coming to tell her to not do that. Do not pick up the item because it is not available yet. Even though it's sitting here on the shelf in front of you, it is not available yet. This is my favorite thing. Well, let's look at some of the details in this store. And actually, the reason I want to start in the store is the story of Fantasy Springs is laid out in here. So let's go back to the beginning of the storybook. It's kind of like a big storybook in here. We're going to go to the beginning of the story. We're going to start this whole thing off right, setting the framework with the backstory of the land. One day, a duchess who loved travel and adventure discovered the beauty of the springs. Wandering along the rivers and streams of the springs, the duchess found herself transported to magical places. The duchess loved the enchanted springs so much that she built a little summer home nearby. As more of her friends visited, the duchess built a grand palace to host them all. And even today, should you follow the water flowing from the spring source, you would come to fabled kingdoms found in storybook tales. So that's the backstory. This duchess found the springs. She originally had a home here and eventually built the hotel as a place where all of her friends, for a nominal fee, could come stay. Once upon a time in a land far away, there was a magical spring where a spirit lived. While the spirit fed beautiful gardens, she was curious and flowed great distances where she encountered enchanted stories. Upon returning home, the spirit used her powers to sculpt stone, branch, and bank into intricate shapes resembling those she met. As she bubbled and sparkled in pools and fountains and waterfalls, the spirit often sang melodies discovered on her many journeys. Oh, that's... All right, so I'm going to go out and I'll explain that a little further when we go outside. That makes sense now. But this is a mural of the Duchess discovering all these fantastical kingdoms. See the kingdom of Arendelle, Neverland, and Rapunzel with the kingdom of Corona way in the back, but the tower in the foreground. But again, look at all this merchandise we cannot touch and we cannot buy. This is like the greatest torture of my life. This is, I imagine, if I am going to hell, which I probably am, this is what it will be like, where I can look at all the new merchandise, but I cannot touch it nor buy it. I cannot wait to buy these Tomika on May 28th, the little model vehicles. It's a very cute merchandise. And beyond that, the other thing that I'm really enamored with is, yeah, the land focuses on 3 IPs mostly. I love that there was this fight to include, or this effort, I should say, I don't think it was a fight, to include all these other classic Disney stories. Right, so here we have Cinderella and Snow White, and if you look in the middle, there's a little bit of Mulan in there. And then all the stories are referenced in these little characters, these little sculptures, these little trinkets. You see the dwarf; those are like the dwarfs' steins in the back there. I see a Cinderella shelf for sure. Pumpkin, a couple shelves for Cinderella actually. The thread and needle. So actually, this shelf is all just Snow White because it's gems, the wishing well, the apple, the box from the huntsman, and the steins, and then that's all Cinderella on that side. The other fun thing is in the music loops in these transitional areas, right? So the two entrance areas, you get a little taste of not just the movies that are in the land, but the other ones referenced. So every once in a while I hear Colors of the Wind, some stuff from Cinderella. It's all mixed in. Oh, we got some Princess and the Frog over here. There's Lewis down in the bayou. Pocahontas up on the rock there. We have Aladdin and Jasmine soaring by the kingdom of Agrabah. And then the Beast's castle all present. And then on these shelves we can see Beauty and the Beast shelf. We have Cogsworth, although that's the live action one. The Enchanted Mirror. There's a lot of Little Mermaid. I see starfish and seashells and things like that. I don't know what the top shelf is. It's hard to tell from here. That might still be Beauty and the Beast because there's flowers in a glass dome. It's hard to tell from here. I'm trying my best to work my way over. Very busy in here. There's a bird in a cage. I'm probably just not thinking of whatever that's supposed to be right now, but maybe it is Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. But I love the aesthetic of Brave. Maybe not the movie so much, but I love that there's these little bears and the shield and the arrows and all of that hanging out back here. We continue onward through the gift shop. This is wild. So many people in a store just to take photos and video, not to buy anything. Only in Tokyo Disney. This is the magic of this place. Is, like I've said before, it's a whole park of people that care the way we do about Disney, and so that's why I love it here. Not only because everything's great, but the admiration everyone else around you has is equal level to yours if you're a super big Disney fan. We have Sorcerer Mickey, Little Mermaid, Moana, Brave, my Bambi, one of my favorites. Bambi and Faylene having a drink down at the water there. There's a book, lots of cool stuff. I don't know what the book is. There's an open book I can't see from here. We'll get closer eventually. We have a Rapunzel shelf above the Omiyagi. So you can buy things not exclusive to Fantasy Springs. So if you wanted to buy tomato snacks right now, you could. It seems like a weird time and a place to buy tomato snacks during your soft opening of Fantasy Springs, but you can. This is definitely frozen, right? The chocolates. I'm pretty sure that's what it's meant to be. And it makes sense, right? You have a section where you're selling boxed chocolates. You have a movie that directly mentions chocolates in a song. Oh, there's a Tinkerbell frame over here. Lots of her fairy goods. Very cute. Oh, is there a Mulan section? Oh. A not so overt Mulan section. Oh, from Mulan. I assume that everything up on the shelves are gifts the Duchess received from visiting all these fantasy lands. That would be my assumption. Again, it's not written anywhere in the store, but the little tag would indicate that. Sorry. I didn't see the other person taking photos. It's kind of hard to navigate. And obviously everyone's taking photographs, so we didn't really look up at the top of these shelves. We'll look up here real quick. It's going to be a long one today, folks. Oh, we got Aurora's Royal Proclamation, or King Stephen's, I should say. Yeah, so here's a gift from Jasmine. There's a box back there, and I'm guessing she gave her the magic lamp and the tiger, which represents Raja, of course. I have a Tangled shelf, which has some of the real merchandise that you cannot touch. The cast member was actually nice enough to take it off the shelf for somebody, so I guess you could ask. We got some more Alice, the Tea Party. Drink Me, written on some of the bottles. For those of you watching are like, we've just been touring a store for 10 minutes. Well, yeah, welcome to DisneySea. If it's your first time, you could do this with the whole park, not just this new land. This level of detail began in this park, really. This park raised the bar when it opened in 2001. I think this is the last little display to see, but there is some Frozen, and it looks like some Princess and the Frog back here. So we've got the clock and the boot mug, horn mug, and then the Bayou at night. We can't really get close, but Anna and Elsa are meeting not in Arendelle, but actually back here by the entrance from the hotel. The way characters work here is pretty much the way they worked back at Walt Disney World when I was a kid, where a crowd will form in a circle or semicircle, and then they'll kind of pick out who they're going to meet next. That's how it was when I was a kid. Obviously, this is a giant crowd, and this is why at Walt Disney World we kind of moved everyone inside eventually. But right now they're out here. Here we have the Little Mermaid with Flounder, Sebastian, and Scuttle over by the gift shop. What I love here is there's coral growing all along the rockwork. Of course, the water crashing over the rock, much like it does in the famous scene in the film. And so leaning into that backstory we just read with the, what was it, a spirit that lives in the spring? I'll reread it in a minute so I know. But if you go by certain rocks, whatever IP is there, whatever movie is there, you'll hear a little bit of the music occasionally from that movie. So Part of Your World kicked in a little bit before I started recording here. I don't know how often it happens, but so actually it may not be related to where the rocks are, because I just heard a little bit of hi-ho from Snow White come over. It might just be mixed in this loop. Every so often you'll hear 10, 15, 20 seconds of overlap where it's a theme from one of the films. But yeah, we're passing on an Elsa again and their giant mob. It is crazy. This is a very, very big land. I don't know. I forgot. I think we read the square footage ages ago when it was announced. I want to say it's bigger than Galaxy's Edge by 2 acres, I think, but don't quote me on that. I think it's, I want to say 14 acres, but I could be thinking of the Fantasyland expansion in Magic Kingdom. I don't even know. But here's Sorcerer Mickey in the hotel again. I do love this giant set of windows. I think that's the restaurant, which we'll be eating at. Not anytime around the grand opening, but a good friend of the show has offered me space on his hotel package. I'm paying him for it, obviously. But I'm joining him on his package, which includes breakfast there at the hotel. So you guys will have to wait till the end of June-ish to hear our thoughts on that, because it was just too hard to book the hotel. Obviously, then we'll have a room tour for you as well, but it was near impossible to get that booked for the grand opening, or even the previews. All right, we are now entering the Kingdom of Arendelle, some of which will look familiar if you remember our tour of World of Frozen in Hong Kong, but otherwise, I will tell you it's very, very different for the most part, because there is the full castle. Some of this is similar, right? We have the little storefronts, facades of Arendelle. I believe in here, obviously on this side of town in Hong Kong, we had the Golden Crocus Inn, which was the restaurant. Oh, this isn't a restaurant. These are restrooms. These just restrooms? They're troll restrooms. Troll restrooms. Where's... Yeah, oh, that's right. The restaurant here is in the castle. Sorry, I'm still not fully adjusted. Like I said, I just landed here yesterday, and I then fell into a coma for a while, and then I woke up to people screaming at me that Fantasy Springs was going to open shit. So that's what's going on. Oh, there's still a crane. There's still cranes. Oh, those are for Space Mountain. Oh, that's a shame. That's going to ruin the first couple of months, maybe even years of this. You're going to have to see that in the background. Actually, there's some scaffolding still up behind the castle. Uh-oh. This is a soft opening, so, you know, not finished product. I hope that's not finished product. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in forever, the gates are open. So we should go before the Queen decides to close them, I suppose. We got the right song playing right now, too. Oh, someone's trying to take a photo in the main entrance. I'm gonna let them try. We'll go this way. The attraction is a retelling the story. So we are arriving, I think, essentially when everyone else is for Coronation Day and the celebration. That's why the fountain is not frozen. So you can go see this fountain in its frozen form, essentially in Hong Kong, and you can travel back in time here at Fantasy Springs to when the fountains look like this. I do like this layout. I love the full-size castle with the North Mountain all the way out in the distance. This is the fully realized concept of a frozen land for sure. Look at these giant castle walls out here, which hold the facade of Anna and Elsa's frozen journey. We do have a return time for this, so we're riding this today, baby. Oh, I see Oakens. Wandering Oakens out there on the hillside, and then way up on the North Mountain, Elsa's Ice Palace. So there are some story inconsistencies, right? Like, we're not that far in the story, but the castle's there, but also it has to be, right? Like, why would you not have that in the land? So the land, I think, straddles. I think the ride is meant to be the introduction. You arrive into the story and you see the retelling of the story. And then out here in the land, it's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to be a little bit of both during the movie and after. This is gorgeous, though. Very excited. We're also eating at the Royal Banquet of Arendelle later this evening for dinner. Watch me engorge myself with 3 meals. I'm going to do both meals and the kids' meal, like a psychopath. Oh, you know what? The popcorn line is real short. Let's try. Who wants to try some roast beef popcorn? Let's do it. Now we're up by the back of Skull Rock after eating our popcorn. Feeling totally not gross from that. Oh, Lost Boy footprints. Lots of shoeless Lost Boy footprints on the stairs. We're in Skull Rock now. I think there's stuff to look at down here. Yeah. Lots of treasure. And I think that maybe that's Captain Hook's rowboat from the Jolly Roger. Oh, we got a nice open spot through the nose. Oh, it's a good spot for waving. Everyone's waving. Should we try waving to people? We can try waving. Let's see if people wave back. Let's try. No, no one's looking. No one wants to wave at me. I'll be in someone's photo now. No one wants to wave at the big sad American. I'm teasing. They're usually very friendly. No one was looking at that time. But usually, I've said this in other vlogs, I assume this being Fantasy Springs, this will be a lot of people's first vlog they're watching. But there are a number of attractions, especially here, where it's kind of all about waving to other people. So the Western River Railroad, the riverboat, things like that, where it's kind of like a joyride through the scenery. People will just wave like the whole time. People will wave to you from the ground, you wave back. You can initiate the wave from the train or the riverboat. But the electric railway, same thing. I guess we're going on the pirate ship. We're here and there's room. It's very busy. Very busy on the pirate ship. We may not stay on here for long. There's a long way to use that wheel. There's a photo op here where you get to be Captain Hook. There's a speaker playing Captain Hook speaking. That's just a line. All this next to me is a line to take a picture with that book at that table. Oh my God. It's very crowded. There's the wheel. People are manning the wheel. I'm not going to wait in this line for this right now. All right, I've had enough. Time to get off. You would think this is a two-way, but it's actually a one-way until this line for this photo op kicks in. Through, but I'm the largest man in this land, so it may be difficult. We have a clearing. Here we go. It's me, the biggest man in Fantasy Springs. So in like 20-ish minutes, I will be able to book another standby pass. I have people feeding me information from the outside world because I can't actually check what the standby passes are at until it's time for me to book them. But it sounds like Peter Pan opened and late, and because of that, that one's only last recording like 20 minutes ago. That time was at like 1 o'clock, so we should be able to get Peter Pan. Tinkerbell was still at about noon. It's the lowest demand of anything in the land. And then Lantern Festival, I think, was at 5 o'clock. So I could take a chance and book Lantern Festival. Actually, we want to go this way. I could take a chance to book Lantern Festival and hope Peter Pan makes it, or we can go for Peter Pan. Either way, we will probably be able to get a Tinkerbell later today and do 3 of 4 attractions in this land. I do not want to set unrealistic expectations for all of you. It's probably not something you're going to be able to do when you come here, if you come in the first year or so of the land. Rapunzel definitely got the smallest area. It's really just the Snuggly Duckling and the tower. I know we didn't pass the Snuggly Duckling. It's tucked past the entrance. So here you see the mob just trying to get video of her, photos of her singing. Back behind the entrance there, back a little, is the Snuggly Duckling. Don't worry, we will go there because I have to eat everything in the land, as you know. That's what I do. Can't imagine why I'm overweight. I will tell you something, if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, do not become a theme park blogger or vlogger, if I can recommend anything to you. The only positive is you do a lot of walking, which is probably the only reason I'm still alive, is that I've walked off some of it in my lifetime. But yeah, so we've done a short little walk of everything at this point. Well, obviously we haven't gone into a lot of places. There aren't a ton of interior spaces that aren't rides. You know, Lookout, Cookout, and those are going to be counter service restaurants. And so we aren't eating at those yet. When we do eat at those, we'll take a look inside. But because there's no stores, there are not a lot of interior spaces, but there is a lot of beauty to see just walking around the land. Curious what's in the vending machine. I'm going to take a look. I'm pretty thirsty. I assume I can get my iced oolong tea. Or iced green tea, I should say. Looks like they do have it, which is my personal favorite. Yeah, it's in there. But I just love this. All this water running into here as if it's what's vending to you. But yeah, we have the lemon, the Kieran lemon with Donald. Iced green tea. There's an apple juice. All right. I am man enough to admit I just openly cried a little in a Disney theme park. You know, there's some classic movies that you love that never get represented in the parks very much. For me, it's Bambi. I love Bambi and Lady and the Tramp, and there's so little. At least Lady and the Tramp has a restaurant. But Bambi has very little other than like hotel rooms, honestly. So this made me weep. I saw Bambi and Thumper and Flower from a distance, and I started immediately, like my eyes welled up, and I was like, then Bambi has to be here. And there he is with his mother in the den, sleeping. And my favorite detail is there's this little trickles off of those, I don't know, I'm gonna get the wrong term, stalagmites, stalactites, whatever you want to call them. Maybe it's neither. Someone will correct me, but it just made me tear up because one of my favorite movies from my childhood is finally represented in physical form in a Disney park. It really warms my heart. The sun has broken out, so we're going to try to look at the entrance area again, but it is considerably busier now. People figured out the land is open, the port is open. Keep correcting myself. Luckily, the sun is coming from directly behind the rocks, so everything's in shadow. Isn't that great, everybody? It sure is. They don't call me the Eeyore of the Disney online community for nothing. So let's look at Rapunzel. We'll get a better look at these while we're waiting. I got 2 hours till my first mobile order. We're gonna eat at the Snuggly Duckling. We're gonna eat everything because we're crazy. Oh man, the Rapunzel's Lantern Festival line is coming back here now. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Here's Pascal and Rapunzel. Turn back this way. Anna, Elsa, and Olaf are here. Let's get out of the middle of the path. That's frowned upon here. Should be frowned upon in all cultures, but it's not. Notice there's a little bit of snow on the sisters, mostly on Elsa, a little bit on Anna too. And then if we go over here, let's find Peter Pan. Fight our way across the path. We made it. I think it's just Peter. Is Tink here somewhere? There's been so many details in all these other areas that I kind of expect something to be in this waterfall, but I'm not seeing anything. But yeah, I guess just Peter on this side. I don't know where Tinkerbell is. I love, there are a number of cast members stationed out here mostly just to take your photo. They're not photo pass or anything of the like. They're just standing by and telling guests if we'd like us to take your photo. If you'd like us to take, someone just recognize me. If we'd like us to take your photo, we can. But all right, so I'm gonna get a few more laps in around the land before I have to eat a whole menu. Hooray! Now almost 2 o'clock. All of the ride lines are now insane. Even with standby pass, they're now 70, 80, 90 or more, and spilling out into the pathways. So it's definitely picked up. But you know, I think people got in the park eventually this morning after a little bit, got their standby passes, and now are pouring in. So when we do get into a ride, we're going to get a nice look at those queues because we're going to be in them a long time. But again, speaking of these other rock vignettes of other IP, we have Pocahontas here, just around the river bend, and Miko on the front of the kayak. Love this. All these underrepresented IPs getting a little love in Fantasy Springs, if not an attraction, at least some cool physical representation. Lost Boys made some targets. You can tell they made them because, again, tiny boy footprints. Let's take a walk around and look at some of the... There's a lot of details on the ground or near the pathway in this area. I love this TikTok croc barrel. You know, given how much of the merchandise usually in these parks reflects things in the lands or ports, I'm really surprised there's not merchandise with these guys yet. I'm sure eventually there will be. But there's so many, the Lost Boys have painted or carved so many things, so many little details. I feel like you gotta look around every path to try and catch these things. You see there's little vignettes painted on these benches that they made out of just things that drifted ashore, probably. Little shark. I love that the drains, there's a squid attack on this drain. Let's see what's over here. Here we got one of the Lost Boys. I don't know what he's counting something. He's teaching a class, I have no idea. There's also a little sign to Pixie Hollow. Some of the netting has little pictures on it too. They're learning how to, I guess this is them. Oh, he's keeping score probably. They're learning archery at the Indian Village. Sorry, I know I said Indian Village, but it is what it is in the movie. Native American Village, I apologize. The fact that this was allowed here blows my mind. I can't even believe this is a thing. Because while OLC, Oriental Land Company, is a separate company, all of this has to be signed off on by Disney. So Disney certainly could have said no. You know, personally, I'm not offended. I've let you know, we have traced my family history. We do have Native American blood in our family. I would not say it's a major percentage, but it's in the family. Personally, I'm not offended, but I can understand if you have more of that heritage. Maybe you would be, or maybe you wouldn't be. I don't really know, but nonetheless, it's here, and I'm going to show it to you because it's here. So you let me know in the comments if there's anyone with Native American lineage out there, if you are offended or not. Let me know. Oh, this is definitely. I was about to say it's Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's a dog with a bone, not a dog with jeans. I know there's a Pirates of the Caribbean reference somewhere. Someone talked about it. I tried to not look at spoilers as best I could. Tinkerbell's the only one showing a short wait, actually. That one's 5, but in 10 minutes I could book another standby pass. We'll have to see if Tinkerbell is still available. But like I said before, we will not be seeing the whole land today. I think I said it before. Tangled Lantern, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival is no longer available. So we'll at least be short one ride today, but I am certain there will be more soft openings over the coming days, and we will be here every day to make sure we bring you everything. So I don't think we really walked this way on video. Maybe we did. I don't remember. But there's a hand washing station. This is one of those ones where you can put the soap Mickey on your hands and then wash it. For those of you who don't know about it, it's you pump a Mickey soap symbol on your hand. That's where it came from. The Mickey soap dispensers. The backstory is not like backstory, like fake backstory, like a land. The real backstory is that the kids' hand washing stations in the bathrooms have had it here forever, and it was so popular that they made these stations outside of the bathrooms where you can do it, so adults would feel more comfortable doing it. And then they started selling the little pumps you could use at home. And then, of course, eventually in America, we ripped that off, and now we sell them too. I think Paris has them too now. So almost everywhere. But that began here in the bathrooms at the kids, the lower sink in the bathroom. What has really gotten me is how many guests I've seen openly weeping in here today, which, you know, I think these franchises really connect with people, and it's so hard to argue with Disney. You know, I want, like all of you, I want original IP, I want original characters. I do, but you can't deny that these things connect with people. But there has to be a balance, right? I think there's a balance to be made, and I think Tokyo's striking it a bit, right? In that, you know, yeah, we're getting Fantasy Springs. We're also getting an updated Space Mountain, which will have a new backstory, and I'm sure there'll be original characters or something of the like. You know, and this is a park, honestly, this is a park full of original attractions and IP, so slightly balancing it out with a couple of Disney franchises doesn't feel like the end of the world in this park, where you have Mysterious Island, which actually, funny enough, is a Disney IP. It's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, even though there's some original content in there, you know. Another look at the springs, but I'm gonna leave you now for a few minutes while I go see if I can make one more standby pass and maybe get 3 out of 4 attractions done today. Gelatoni in the skull. Gelatoni in the skull. One of everything, kudasai. I'm a lunatic. Lunatic of all lunatics. A fun little thing, there's this water trough here, and I thought you had to work the handle because that would be amazing. It's actually this handle here, you just turn and the water sprays, but nonetheless it's still really cute. And worth noting, there is free water available anytime you want it in these restaurants from a spout like this. I gave World of Frozen in Hong Kong a rave review for the sight lines, and I do love the way it's laid out with the lake, but this is to have the full castle and the way you walk up to it. I don't want to give away too much of my honest review, but yeah, I mean, the full castle is amazing. What I will say is the Dead Village is not great. Like, there's absolutely nothing but bathrooms in the village. None of this is operational. It's kind of just some photo ops. And then there's the restaurant and the ride, but this vista with these giant mountains, the waterfall, and the castle is really something. Now the empty shops do have some well-dressed windows, though. This one has pretzels hanging up. There's a game of chess somehow ongoing in the window. It's a store display, you get the idea. My favorite thing is the kitten with mittens is back again. We've arrived pre-mittens. They haven't been made yet. We assume this is the yarn, and she's even in the photo with the yarn that I think will eventually become her mittens. The Shaky Ship Tavern Food and Spirits has sheet music. You may recognize this troll. I think he's in Frozen Ever After. But there's sheet music for Do You Want to Build a Snowman? And they have the clock tower that works here too. Just heard it in the background. In Summer's back there. We have All Is Found from Frozen 2. The Golden Crocus flag. A lot of fun details. Also, Wandering Oaken has a sun bomb of his own invention, of course. A lot of salad plates. So they decided to put everything in Royal Banquet of Arendelle in these weird stackable trays. I mean, it's great for carrying. Is it particularly thematic? I don't know. But at least makes everything easy to carry.
起こさないでよ。ピーターパン、見てないよ。
やあティンカーベル。フック船長がどうしたって？ジョン・ダーリングが誘拐された？それは大変だ。みんな起きるんだ。
どうしたのピーター？
ジョン・ダーリングがフック船長に誘拐されたんだ。
大変だ。
ジョンを助けに行こう。
はい。
いいか、ボートに乗ってまずはウェンディとマイケルを探す。それからジョンを救うんだ。
了解。
で、みんなも来てくれるよね。ロストキッズ全員の力が必要なんだ。
来てね。
川のところで待ってる。ティンカーベル、行くぞ。
ボートに向かえ。大学たちの行くぞ。待ってくれよ。
風が心にささやくの私を助けるために自分を犠牲にするなんて大切な姉さんだもん。
俺の親友だよ。お前もだよ。すげえ最高の友達がいるんだ。
お時間を迎えたいと思いますよ。ピンク色の丸いメニューをお持ちの方、左側2カ所でご案内中です。お手元に9
in the windows in town, there's a market that has crab and fish, and noticeably, like above the crab, there's a fish definitely painted like Flounder from The Little Mermaid, so I'm assuming that's a reference. In honor of Captain C. Russell, who helped us navigate through countless uncharted waters, this is most definitely an honor to Craig Russell, who just retired from Walt Disney Imagineering and just came to Stage 89. He was on stage. Very cool. So the frustrating thing about being in a park full of people that are like you is everyone knows how to game the system. So literally outside of all 4 attractions right now, people are just furiously refreshing the standby passes to see if anyone cancels one. Now I've seen like 12 come up. I have not been fast enough in my fingers to get it. And it's been upsetting. Look, these people just pulled it and now they're walking in. It happens. I've been trying, no avail. There's 8 minutes left. It's not going to happen. But we tried to do Peter Pan. We did most of it. Then they gave me a re-entry, which I used for Tangled. So we rode Tangled, and I had one for Frozen, which I used successfully. You can go watch all 3 of those videos separately. Even the evac from Peter Pan video, up until we're not allowed to film anymore. Well, the wind is bad tonight. My apologies. The sound is probably terrible, but well, we did 2.5 out of 4, which, given that we weren't here at Open, is probably not that bad.
Is now closed for today. We hope that you have enjoyed your stay and that you will visit us again.
Good night from the first soft opening, first real public opening of Fantasy Springs at Tokyo DisneySea.